Today we're going to be talking about liquidity and why it's so important and things to look for. So welcome back everyone, I'm lead trainer with Stocks Trade, Tim Bohen. A term you'll often hear is liquidity, and that is based on the volume traded each trading day. Something a lot of people will overlook this. Maybe they'll see a good chart or they'll see some news, but remember, if the stock isn't trading unusual volume, the odds of it actually moving and paying you out on a trade are very low. I mean, it's a lot of people overlook this, but it's like one thing to see an artificial intelligence press release, okay? Artificial intelligence, the hottest hot sector out there right now. But sometimes these stories just don't catch on in the market. And I've had people email me, actually today, M-U-L-N, okay, Mullen Automotive. Many of you know my hatred of this stock, and I've begged people to avoid it for almost a year now. Like this morning, M-U-L-N had a press release, and the stock was trading no volume and ultimately went nowhere. I think at the point someone brought it up this morning, it was up 1/7,000th of a penny. Okay, and they're like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, there's no volume. It doesn't matter if there's news. They launched their AI-powered persona vehicle technology. People are like, it's AI. And I'm like, there's no volume, okay? I'm like, there's nothing going on with this. But they're like, it's EVs and it's AI. And look at, I didn't realize this. Holy crap, getting destroyed. It's down 25%. This might be, write this down. This might be, MULN might be the most disgusting, terrible, biggest scam I have ever seen in penny stocks. Literally, like this might go to zero in the next couple days. And my friends, this is what frustrates me. Again, for 9 months, I have every day when I do those pre-market webinars, they're like, what do you think about MULN? I'm like, the same thing I said yesterday. It's down 25%. People are just getting destroyed. So anyway, the point is, I don't care if it has AI and I don't care if it's EV if there isn't liquidity. Because remember, what makes a stock move exponentially higher? Something a lot of people don't think about. Like a lot of people don't think about the fact that the stock market is a market, okay? And right now, it's summer 2023. One of the best analogies I like to use are Taylor Swift tickets, okay? Whether you're a Taylor Swift fan or not, I'm sure you know, she comes to town for one night. There's 20,000 seats in the stadium. And what are those tickets gonna sell for? Are they gonna sell for face value? Especially like the first 5 rows? No way, because they come to your town and you have one shot. She might not be back for a year, she might not be for 2 years. And if you're a 50-year-old guy like me with a 10-year-old daughter that loves Taylor Swift, guess what? You ain't paying face value, you ain't paying double face value, you're probably paying 100 times face value or more. And that is because of the demand and the supply. And supply and demand imbalances are what drive a stock like VCIG. Now, think about VCIG versus MULN. VCIG, you can see, had a press release, VCI Global, to distribute AI-based, state-of-the-art, socialized messenger, blah, blah, blah. Social media and AI, 2 buzzwords. You go back to this morning, gaps up huge. By 10:30, 11 a.m., this was trading 25 million shares on the day. What I want you to focus on is that 60-day average, 600,000 shares. An entire day for the last 60 days. For 2 months, the average shares this thing traded the entire trading day was 600,000. By 10:30 a.m., this thing had traded 20 million plus. Now we jump over to the Oracle, which is our stock prediction tool, and you look at this thing had a predicted entry at $3.95, and then also I went over a $4.50 break on the morning webinar. You can see, I'm like, hey, the volume's there, liquidity, the AI press release is there, everything is here for a 450 break on this thing. And whether you took the Oracle signal or my predicted level, this thing went to 11.30. Now, I'm not saying you would have exactly nailed the top at $11.32, but think of the potential. Maybe you buy at 450 and you sell at 550. Not bad. Maybe you sell at 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, it went all the way to 11.32. And the reason it did that, look at the volume, look at the liquidity, and that proves that there's more buyers than sellers. And what happens in Taylor Swift tickets or coffee or eggs. Remember when eggs were $8 a dozen a few months ago? The reason they were $8 a dozen, because it was all those farm failures and chicken flu or whatever it was, there just weren't enough eggs. People want eggs. Now you're not paying $1.50 a dozen or $2 a dozen. You're paying $8 a dozen. And that is one of the biggest things that you constantly have to be cognizant of, and that is supply and demand imbalances. Supply and demand imbalances. It doesn't matter if it has an AI press release like MULN. If no one wants the stock except the bag holders, it ain't going nowhere. I was kind of shocked it's down 25%, but it's a good illustration of what happens. Versus VCIG, low float stock. I mean, MULN has billions of shares in the float, so there's no supply and demand imbalance there. You look at VCIG, 2 million in the float, 600,000 average, 25 million shares traded before 10:30, 11 a.m. And right now, stock's pulling back, but look at this thing, 110 million shares, and we got an hour and 15 minutes left in the day. This could trade 150 million shares today, and as long as it closes above VWAP, it's a number one play for tomorrow. Now, next thing, it's not just price movement, okay? Listen, write this down. Unusual volume creates unusual price action. That's what we want. Insane volume creates insane price moves. Now, the other thing I want you to be cognizant of is even if you're trading small size, like if you have a small account, you'll find if you're trading illiquid stocks, it can be very, very frustrating. You just can't get out. Like, you buy and you eventually get a fill on your trade 5 minutes later, which, okay, fine. But then let's say the stock reverses on you, you're the only seller, okay? And if it's illiquid, you might have been there. Actually, let me know in the comments if you've been there on an illiquid stock. You put your sell in, and then all of a sudden the bid drops. You're looking at your level 2. You just got a small position, 1,000 shares. You put a sell, and the bid drops. And you're like, okay. And you wait a few minutes. You don't get taken on your ask. You lower your ask, and the bid drops again. You're like, what is going on here? Listen, it ain't Bigfoot. It ain't aliens. It ain't Chupacabra. All that is market makers gaming you because it's an illiquid stock. They know you're the only seller. They're just going to keep moving away from you until you capitulate and probably put in a market sell, and then they ream you, steal your shares, and bounce the stock, okay? Now listen, I'm not saying there aren't market maker games in liquid stocks, but when you got something trading 100 million shares, I don't care what your position size is, you can easily get in and out. I mean, you can look at my level 2 right now. I mean, there's just thousands and thousands of shares traded a second on VCIG. And even if you've got a 10,000 share position, 100,000 share position, you could get out of this stock. If you're trading in the liquid stock, they're going to move away from you and they're going to steal your shares and then bounce it, and you'll be like, what just happened? You got gamed because you're trading illiquid stocks. So my friends, if you want to see this live, how to trade level 2. We get a lot of questions about that. How to read the tape on level 1. You can see mine. How to interpret liquidity. How to do volume profile analysis, VPA. Again, we use that as a derivative of the 60-day moving average on the volume. Float rotation. All of these liquidity-based ideas. Check out the Daily Income Trader System webinars live every single day, 6 times a day, including on weekends, and 100% free. We go live every single day. Sign up now. Like, if you can't get on that webinar today, sign up, get on the one tomorrow, get on the one next day, or maybe on the weekend. Once you're there, you can get access to all of them free. Have a great day. We'd love to see you on one of the webinars.